Guys, RBC Fight Night 14 was surely something, wasn't it? We had good fights, chillax commentary, and a main event that pretty much brought the house down. I am going to say right now that main event was crazy. Cotto versus Pulev. Well, let's recap real quick because I'm pretty sure you all saw it. Pulev and Cotto basically threw hands at each other for the first 2 rounds, and that was all she wrote. One of the things that I saw weird about that fight was Cotto did not land a lot in that first exchange, but when he did, oh my god, did this guy just went crazy. But the end of the first and second round was some of the craziest boxing I've ever seen. Both guys are throwing hands, everything. Cotto is landing. It was a great adjustment between the first and second round. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just he was landing this time. But he looked sloppy to start the first round, and he really got that mojo back. So, what does this mean for him? Does it say he's legit? Or do we point out the fact that Andre Pulev has, 3 losses and no wins? This happened in round 2 pretty damn late. So, that's also something to consider. It got knockout of the night. It was the craziest knockout I've seen. It's the craziest ending to a fight I've seen in a long time. And it was a great night. It was probably the best night we've had in these new tools. No offense to the first 2 pay-per-views. So now it's time to get back to Cotto. Where do you go from here? Well, you're a welterweight. You just made a high-level debut. What next? What next? What next? Let's look at some of the contenders. Abdullah West is a pretty good opponent. Just looking now here. You're going at some point in the future. There's a few guys you could take on. I mean, you don't want a high level fighter just yet. I don't think that's the smartest idea. Yeah, I think you need to start working your way up. By the 3rd fight, you can start really making a name for yourself. You can start really getting title contention. The problem with Cotto making his debut as a main event is now all the eyes are going to be on him. All the eyes are going to say, you just put on a great performance. Flawed, but great. Okay, what are you going to do about it? That's what everyone's going to say, guys. They are going to tell you. They're going to tell him that there's a standard now you need to reach. This is your first fight. First fight under the tools that you've never used before. You're an MMA first guy. And now you're expected to, carry the weight of that main event spot. You're going to be on pay-per-view. You may main event another fight night. Honestly, a win for Pulev would have benefited more for him. But this is what Raimundo wanted. He knew. I'm pretty sure he knew Cotto can handle this spotlight. Can he? Is he that good of a boxer? If he is, that's great. I'm just saying that now that I look back on it, are we pushing him out into the wolves a little early? I saw flaws in that fight. But small flaws. He picked it up and he went crazy with it. Maybe a flaw that he was draining a lot. He was missing a few. Accuracy is an issue that needs to be solved. But technically, this guy is super sound. He's got some great knockout power in there. That right hook is so deadly. He's got great power in there. He can get knocked down, but that guy's going to get back up. I saw a lot of checks on the box for a guy like Gabriel Cotto. I'm not that concerned with his future. I think he's going to do pretty well. But who knows? And that's the big thing. So I'm talking about what's next for Gabriel Cotto. I'll get to the other fights later on, but what is next for him specifically? Because this is the biggest talking point we're going to have, except for the fact that we have a bunch of fights this weekend. Do we get him on pay-per-view? Do we get him on a main event and fight night? Is this guy going to be the face of fight night until he can get in title contention? Are we going to throw him to the wolves immediately? Are we going to put him against guys like Casper Veras or Abdullah West? Welterweight is top heavy. It doesn't have a lot of big time contenders. But the contenders it has is goddamn great. I can't name a lot of them, but I can name some really, really good fighters, guys. A dick comes to mind. Boom, there's your fight. I think that's a good fight right there. When Cody Taiwo comes back, I want that fight to be made. I love that fight. Cody Taiwo, this is a guy who's hyped up. He has a lot of potential on his side. Maybe he can fight in matchup before this. That's a dream fight in my opinion. I love that type of stylistic matchup. He was the first main card fight I ever called. And now you got Gabriel Cotto, who's coming in here all high and mighty. He's gonna have a chip. He's gonna have a big task to handle. There are guys. I mean, I can put out a bunch of names if I actually start thinking about it. But for now, that's where I'm at. As for Andre Pulev, you are in a dangerous spot, buddy, because there is absolutely no way. I don't mean to be offensive here. There's absolutely no way you can make a run for the title anymore. You can win the next 5 fights, and I wouldn't even consider you in title contention. So what do you do next if you're Andre Pulev? Well, you gotta fight somebody. Make a name for yourself. Start talking. Call people out. He's not the most talkative guy. I haven't really had a conversation with him. But he seems to be cool. Someone will give him a chance down the road. And don't think that he's a guy you can just get a free win over. No, this guy's a great 0-4. He just happens to fight 4 great guys. I like it. I like the matchup I just created in my head. I like the fact that Gabriel Cotto could fight Cody Taiwo. I could be an idiot and he's already booked for something. But this is what I believe. So, I have a question for you guys. Do you agree with me or do you think I'm stupid? Where are we going with this? Is this going to be one of those things where Cotto gets thrown into the spotlight immediately, or do we wait? I'm giving you 2 options. You can either give him a 1-0 opponent or an 0-1 opponent. We can throw him in a guy like Cody Taiwo. I dig. I like that fight. I really, really do.